I got involved with Forrest Gump because I had worked with Tom Hanks for many years prior to that. I started with Tom, or first met Tom, when we did Dragnet '87. And we did the Burbs and you know, and other things. And I was requested by Tom. Well, the main thing is I wanted to get a certain flesh tone on Tom. Tom has kind of a sallow complexion, so I wanted to stay close to that, but still a little different, and to give me leeway to go elsewhere as we progressed with the film. So I introduced some pinks and other tones of juvenile flesh tones, if you will, and to start off that. Mainly the aging, as far as I was concerned with Tom, was a change in texture and color of the face more than it wasn't leathering the face or anything like that. It was more textural and color. Now, we designed hair pieces that would glue to his forehead and comb into the butch cut. And there were 4 different stages of that, each one being smaller and regressing further back until we finally, in the final part of it, got to Tom's own hairline.
Hey, stupid!
Quit it! Run, Forrest, run!
Hey! Did you hear me, stupid?
Run,
Come on,
Forrest!
get in the truck, let's move it! Come on, it's getting away, move it!
Run, Forrest, run!
Hallie DeMore, who was makeup artist on Forrest Gump and received the Academy nomination as I did. She was doing Robin, and you know, particularly on a female as pretty as Robin, it's a very delicate thing to get really working in nuances. And Hallie went into that very, very deeply in the drug problem and everything else that Jenny had. You think of some of the work in the bedroom when she was at her lowest ebb, and some of at the parties with the glitter makeup and all that. There's just some wonderful transitions there. So that's a very masterful job on Jenny.
Don't ever let anybody tell you they're better than you, Forrest. If God intended everybody to be the same, he'd have given us all braces on our legs.
Mama Gump is young. Hallie DeMore also did Sally's makeup and did a wonderful corrective makeup. You think of Mama Gump walking with little Gump, you know, down the street and some of those things. And just wonderful look on Sally.
What's my destiny, Mom?
You're gonna have to figure that out for yourself. Life is a box of chocolates, Forrest. You never know what you're gonna get.
Now, when we got to the age makeup, I was involved, and I had been working with some new types of plastics out of Switzerland, and decided to go with this new method. And I had developed kind of a method where you lay the plastic across where the crow's feet or the smile lines would be, or right in them. And then you'd have the artist squeeze their face and would roll that up onto the land between the lines. So it would make a roll rather than making a crease. And it worked magnificently, and particularly on Sally. And we went in and delicately painted with water brushes, all of our colors and everything. So we didn't have a heavy mask look.
Lieutenant Dan!
They gave you the Congressional Medal of Honor.
Yes, sir, they surely did.
They gave you an imbecile, a moron who goes on television and makes a fool out of himself in front of the whole damn country, the Congressional Medal of Honor.
Yes, sir.
Well, that's just perfect.
Gary was very concerned about putting facial hair on him. And he had meetings with Bob and with Hallie and myself. And it was finally agreed that we were going to shoot him in fairly good sequence so that he could have his own beard. As you remember, it was a very thin, scraggly, see-through type beard. And so it was his own beard, but it was with a wig. And then, of course, darkening under the eyes, and once again using that transparency type color that we used, and aging the teeth, rotting the teeth somewhat as he deteriorates, you know. And it worked on Gary, you know.
What's wrong with your lip?
I was born with big gums, sir.
Yeah, well, you better tuck that in. Gonna get that caught on a tripwire.
It was called a dental plumper. It was a prosthesis that we made for the lower gum line to puff his lip out. And it was, as I recall, I think it was Bob Zemeckis' idea. And it was brilliant, because it just made Bubba.
Tell us a little bit about the war, man.
The one in Vietnam?
War in Viet fucking Nam!
When we were getting ready to film the mall scene from the Lincoln Memorial, with all those huge amount of extras, the main company was still shooting in Savannah. And I sent a contingent to Washington. We had construction build facilities, work tables and mirrors and electricity, etc., right alongside a wardrobe, and had most of those people pre-cut. By pre-cut, I mean that period of hairstyling and sideburns, and fitted with sideburns. Those who didn't, most of them didn't have sideburns by the time we were shooting. So we put a lot of sideburns on, a lot of mustaches for that period, and a lot of the hair extensions. Forrest Gump was a huge challenge because we had outlandish climactic conditions to deal with. We also had a constricted schedule, so that a unit of us would go out every Saturday night for 8 weeks and film Forrest running. And of course, as you know, all those sequences, he kept changing and his beard kept growing until finally in Monument Valley, you know, he's got this beard down to here. I would hand lay that because I felt that was really the only way to go for it to look real. So all those beards were put on piece by piece by piece, and curled and you know, and dressed. Well, you know, ultimately it's all a matter of taste. All filmmaking is. And our job, of course, we work in you either work in a tasteful way or it's absolutely terrible, because it's so out there in front of everything, particularly in a big close-up. And exercising good taste, I would say, is one of the preeminent things a makeup artist must do when you're involved in a motion picture.